Hi there guys, today we're going to be introducing one-point perspective to you, and we've got a simple shape here. What we have is a picture plane, this line over here, a picture plane, a horizon line, and a ground line on which we're going to be drawing our simple shape. You might notice that in the word ground line, horizon line, we have a prevalent word, the word line, and in the picture plane we have it as a plane. So this is an extra added view to help us and assist us to draw the final object. Okay, please note that this will be an auxiliary front view. You might be presented with an auxiliary left side view as well. It doesn't really matter, but the information from here needs to be projected across. Here I've got an auxiliary top view. Please note that this is the same object, so basically I've only got the front view and the top view of the object on my sheet. As an orthographic projection, we know that we have from the front view the information of height that is projected right across, and the information of length or width of my object that's projected straight down. Please note that the points that touch the picture plane are being projected straight down. I have not yet started projecting these points. Alright, only the ones that are touching the picture plane. Let's quickly make sense of this. If I'm saying to you that this is the top view of this object over here, that means this point and that point directly below one another, or that point below this point, will be represented by one point over here. Okay, that point over there represents 2 points, an upper and a lower point. An upper and a lower point. And so on the right hand side here I have exactly the same thing. That one point will represent 2 points, an upper and a lower point. Alright, so let's get going with this. I will be presented with a stationary point. That stationary point is me. I could draw an eye over here, and that eye will be looking at this object. Now remember, this is a top view, so I'll be seeing this side over here, and I'll be seeing this side over here. And I'll then also be able to see a portion of the top view, and we'll soon see when we draw this back to the vanishing point. Okay, what we also know about our vanishing points, now that I've mentioned it, is it will be projected straight onto the horizon line and labeled. Please, the vanishing point will always be found on the horizon line in 1-point perspective, and so in 2-point perspective as well. Please note that when an object is moving further and further away from you, it seems as though it's getting smaller. Not really getting smaller, but it seems as though it's getting smaller. If you look over the horizon, over the ocean, at a tiny ship, and if that ship had to move closer and closer to you, it would get bigger and bigger. But if it had to move in the opposite direction, further and further away from you, until it actually gets so small that it vanishes, that would be vanishing at the vanishing point. And that's what we have over here, that vanishing point. Our original object is found via projection. Alright, and you'll note that this size box over here will be found over here. Can you see it? Right, there's the surface on the inside, the box shape over here. Needs to be the same. Okay, we want to start by joining each one of those corners to the vanishing point. Remember, any relation to this object needs to go all the way back to the vanishing point. Okay, all 4 corners will need to be projected. Please note that these will all be done in construction lines so that your final line will stand out at you. We then will also have our top view projected. Now remember, I said to you, we will not be projecting these points straight down, that one and this one, because they don't touch the picture plane. This point here and that point there does touch the picture plane. Therefore, I've projected them straight down. So, I've now got to find a way of getting this point to touch the picture plane. And it does touch the picture plane on its way to the stationary point. That is me, the eye. In a way, I'm describing this so that I can actually show you where I'm scanning my object from. I'm scanning it from this area on the right hand side all the way to the left hand side. That's what I will see. Now, straight away, now that I have forced this point to be connecting to the actual picture plane, what have I done to these points when they touch the picture plane? I've dropped them straight down. Right, I'm going to do exactly the same with these points. They touch the picture plane, I drop them straight down. Now please note, you could also use number form over here. If this was number 1, that would represent two number 1 points, an upper and a lower, which would be number 1 there, the upper, and the number 1 there, the lower. But it also connects straight back to this point. Now let's follow this point. There it goes. It ends up touching the picture plane there, and it goes straight down. Now remember, you can only find that point along this line going back to the vanishing point. Alright, I'm going to do the second point now. I want to find this point, so it gets projected down to the stationary point, intersects with my picture plane, and I also drop it down straight away onto the line that's connecting to the corners. Okay, that corner over there connects to that corner over there. Therefore, in real life in front of me here, that I see is connecting these two corners. Right, let's move on slightly. I also now note that I have a back point. These two back points, remember I said that that one point would have to represent 2 points, would have to be an upper and a lower point. Remember that that will be drawn in hidden detail. At this very moment, I'm not going to draw them in. And then obviously, if I'm looking from this side over here, I will have this point and the lower point, which is that back point, upper point and lower point. Right, there it is there, and there it is there. Now it could get very confusing when you have all these lines, but surely by now you should be able to see the actual box standing out at you. Right, that back surface over there exists. Remember that that line over there, this line over here, and this one over here, only to this point, that line over there, okay, will be in hidden detail. It's behind the actual full surface. What I've done here is I've given you a bit of a color code to show you exactly what we see. Now, at this very moment, you see red, yellow, and green. This green is obviously represented by the auxiliary front view, so it is really the front view of the object. The top view is seen obviously on the top, and you'll have the red, which you can't yet see. I'm going to just quickly put a nice display on there for you like this. Look at what actually happens. Remember I said that the vanishing point is further back, and that is what actually happens. That object goes further back. Now the object does not shape in that manner, but in a 2D view it really does. It looks like that. To give it a little bit more sense, I've included an isometric shape, and what do you think the right hand side would be? It would be the red, isn't it? There it is, the right hand side would be the red. The front will be the green. The top would be the yellow. There's your isometric shape of it. I'm going to just twist it a little bit for you again. Right behind the 3D shape that I've given you, you will also notice that I've given the full 2D shape and the method used. Right, there it is. This is what your final result would look like over here without the hidden detail. Right, now I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and as a basic instruction or a basic introduction to the one-point perspective, I hope you have a little bit more insight as to how one-point perspective works, and in fact how artists use one-point perspective before they actually go ahead and paint over their little one-point perspective sketch. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you very much.